Bismillah. No, okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, today we have gathered here with the chance for us to hear and also to participate in the focus group workshop series by UM and also UM, inshallah, in which the title for today will be I-Halal Tourism, boosting Muslim-friendly tourism for Southeast Asia traveler, especially here in Japan. And inshallah, for this first session, I would say, it will be presented by Dr. Nur Aisha Abdullah from University Malaya. And again, Doctor, please, by all means, the stage is yours.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much, Cik Darwish, and all JDC team, and especially high appreciation to Tuan Zul to arrange this session. Right, I'm Aisyah from University Malaya, and together with me to Osaka here is my project member, Puan Farzana here from Universiti Utara Malaysia, and we have Puan Cik Siti Fatimah, Cik Siti Fatimah from Universiti Malaya. Also, she's a Japanese language lecturer. Puan Farzana in technology, and with here Puan Putri Nurdiana from she's the research assistant of this project. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. You know, really appreciate it that you can make it to this session today. Okay, so basically, this is not a formal session. Okay, it's gonna be a very what we call as chillax or relax session. Okay, relax session because this is sharing session of our project, what we have done, basically what we have done. And we welcome feedback from all of you on how can we improve on the existing framework that we have. All right. So I will go through on what we have done first. Okay. Oh, before this, I have 3 copies of a report. These actually all of the things that I'm going to present here, but in much detail. So I can just distribute this copy to all of you. Right. But I need this back after this workshop. Yeah. Okay. The online participants, can you hear my voice? Tengok tak? Z, okay. So Z, you're there, eh? All right. So this is the project background. Basically, this is the what we call as the why we do this project. All right. So you know that Muslim visitor is projected. Okay, number of Muslim visitors projected to reach 230 million by 2026. We are in 2026 right now. That is will contribute over 300 billion globally. Okay, and Japan, as for now, we know a lot of Muslim tourists come to Japan, and Osaka is one of their destinations, right? Beside what, Hokkaido, what else? Tokyo itself, right? And all of these tourists, most of them come from Southeast Asia or Asia. We can say Asia. But 2 countries, Indonesia and Malaysia, is the most what we can say tourists come from these 2 countries, Malaysian and Indonesia, and the majority ethnic or race is Muslim. All right. And for this, Japan ranks 30th to 40th globally in halal tourism. Although because they face challenges like, for example, fragmented certification is not integrated. There's no unified certification. All right, and limited regional facilities. Next. Oh, kena ke sini eh. All right. So this is one of a workshop. First, we held a workshop at Koneksian Bangsa together perspective from the Malaysians. We have, of course, the majority of them from KL and Selangor and also Putrajaya. But we also have some participants from JNTO, Japan National Tourism, and we have Islamic Tourism Center. We did it on 28 October. All right, this 2025 typo. So we have also academia from UPM, tailors, and all that, and also we have leaders in industry. So during that workshop, what we did is we tried to benchmark smart halal tourism. Actually, what Malaysia has done, although we have different situation here. Malaysia is Muslim country, but Japan is not. But somehow we cannot, like, for example, directly copy and paste from what Malaysia has done for Muslim industry to Japan. We need to, see the gaps, and then we try as much as we can to preserve the culture, especially the culture of Japanese, all right, Japanese people. And this session actually, rather than we do survey and all that, but it's much more like this kind of session. We sort of have a two-way conversation discussion in focus group discussion with all stakeholders. We have 4 stakeholders from the industry, academic, we have the government sector, and also we have the community group. All right. Next. So this is all of the respondents and our team. So key insights and finding from that particular workshop. We has identified critical policy bottlenecks, especially in translating national halal standard to regional tourism operators in Japan. There are some aspect that we can, directly transfer from Malaysia to Japan, but not all. All right. And then we emphasize the necessity of, reciprocal recognition framework between Japanese local authorities and Asian certification bodies. One of the issue that we have discussed is that, we know that a lot of tourists come to Japan, but they lack of, we cannot get, the tourists to come again to Japan. Usually they just go once, or next will be 2 or 3 years after that. But we want, for example, Japanese government, especially the tourism sector, want them to come to Japan, perhaps 2 times in a year, right? Every year, something like that. Okay. And we say, belum lagi. We see that, technology integration is needed. All right. Basically on the centralized real-time information system. Okay, tourists needs data, real-time data when they go to Japan. Okay, not only on the halal food aspect, but where to solat, perform solat, where can they take wudu, and all that. And then we also have stressed the importance of data security and user trust in digital halal verification. Next. So these are the stakeholder that has been working with us, and their role basically on the government. We have JAKIM and ITC. They provide insight on halal government, policy standard, and institutionalization of halal tourism. And we have tourism bodies. Several agencies has worked with us. JNTO, HIS Travel, and MKJ Tours gave their insights on destination development and how they handle, Muslim tourists when they go to Japan. And we have the academic group from and UPM on the research evidence and framework development in terms of the gaps that Japan is facing, and current studies on halal industry. And we have industry from Silos, Aurelia, Livanes is actually a product of cooperation between Japan and Malaysia, Livanes. They provide insights on digital platform and data integration. Next. So these are actually, ke bawah sikit boleh? Zana. Okay. These are actually, the key aspect during our discussion. We discuss on the holistic scope. As I mentioned just now, not only food, but we think about the prayer space, family-friendly space, and also ethical practices. When we say about Muslim friendly or family friendly space, for example, Muslim tourists do need hotel that is not what we call Muslim compliance. All right, Muslim friendly. Okay, with the Qiblat direction, perhaps what we all of the frames or pictures of the particular area is Muslim friendly. All right, and we discuss on digital transformation, on smart tourism tools, connect, distribute services, providing real-time data on halal establishment. We it's not that the app is there. Okay, we have so many apps, but how can it become accessible to the Muslim tourists? Where they can find the apps, which apps is the best for them, the validity, the reliability of the app. Because apps can be, for example, it can be developed by anyone, right? So how can, for example, tourists ensure that their data is protected, on the trust of the app and all that? So we discuss about that. And also trust and intercultural skills. We address gaps in cultural understanding, service provider training, and also standardized certification. We also discuss on the language aspect. For example, we have expert in Japanese language here. Cik Siti, she actually handle on that, on the gaps, language gap and also cultural gap for the Japanese. Next. Second workshop, we conducted the workshop in Tokyo at Amyu Atsugi in January. All right, together with our collaborator there, Kemeja, Kesatuan Melayu Jepun, Kemeja. All right, and the workshop has been officiated by Deputy Chief of Mission from the Malaysia Embassy in Tokyo, Encik Zainal Azlan. All right, we have like 20 respondents at that time. And also, we do the same thing like in Malaysia, we have 4 groups. Same thing. And we have focus group discussion. First of all, they discuss in their own group, for example, industry, academic, government, and community. And then we gather their findings and discuss all together at once. So we have representative from Malaysian Professional Japanese Association. They cover the community side and also the government side. And we examine, the objective is that at that time we examine Muslim-friendly tourism from the perspective of individuals operating directly within the Japanese environment. Right. Before that, we get perspective from Malaysia, what we have done in Malaysia, and how can we adopt or adapt the framework that we have in Malaysia to Japan, and then we present it to this group and get their feedback. All right, and you guys the another layer, another phase. All right, next. So, the objective of that particular workshop is to get Japanese context on halal integration. Okay, before that, okay, this is what Malaysian think. So how about, what you think about that? All right. And then global cooperation to foster knowledge exchange between Malaysian immigrants and Japanese network, and on the localization to ensure the framework respect local Japanese institutional, social and cultural setting. After this, we're going to present to you some of our findings from these two workshops. Next. So this is the workshop we had in Tokyo. So, all right. This is what we get from our discussion with the Japanese stakeholder, and also from our from secondary data that we get from the websites. All right. So basically, Japanese already have its own framework for tourism. Okay, in terms of technology or digital, it is there. But how can we integrate halal framework into that framework, technology framework that we have? All right. So the framework that Japan government currently using actually grounded from Japan Tourism Agency Guidelines and Society 5.0, right? Um, and this framework or policy that we have connects the complete traveler journey from inspiration and pre-travel preparation. And also they have post-travel review, all right? As I said, the framework is superb, all right, for digital sector in tourism. So this framework uses data and intelligence platform for continuous feedback loop. For example, they get data, and then analyze and try to improve the framework over time. And but how can we use that particular framework or integrate Muslim friendly needs into that framework? So basically what we want to do is that we want to integrate Islamic requirement, for example halal food tracking, prayer room access and multilingual guidance. For example, if there is a complete map of Japan or certain region that Muslim can actually see where can they fulfill their needs, for example. All right. And we can, how can we integrate, as I mentioned just now, the framework is there, but how can we integrate the Muslim needs? And then we want to balance physical infrastructure with deep cultural awareness and engagement with host community. Not only the local community not only try as much as they can to cater what Muslim need, but also at the same time, Muslim tourists respect Japanese culture and what their needs. All right, and their needs. Okay, next. So this is the framework that we get from Japan Tourism Agency. This is actually from the Ministry of what? Land and Transport. Japan punya ministry. All right. Next. So this is all right. This is the data that we get only from one group. One group of we only disclose one group of stakeholder first. Okay, this is the data from we get from the community, from the Malaysia workshop and also Tokyo workshop. All right. Basically, okay, the technology is there. All right. The technology, the framework is there. But this is the three main themes actually come up from our discussion on the communication, accessibility, and awareness. This is what is lacking actually in the framework that Japan currently have. All right. So on the communication, as you know, it's pecah. Okay. All right. So from our finding, we know that we need a clear, universal, and technology-enabled communication for every traveler. It's not that the communication is there, but some of them is only available in Japanese language, for example, especially on food. Okay, perhaps after this, Cik Siti has something to. I mean, when we have our conversation, okay, especially on food actually, not all food is registered in, for example, in the apps, right? Not all food, but for those people that know Japanese language and know how to read kanji, all right, they can read the ingredient and say, oh, this is okay, this is halal, even though it's not in the app, you know. So it's not comprehensive. That is only on the food aspect. What about the other area? Okay, so multilingual, for example, is one. We need that easy navigation, real-time information on halal food. We also need prayer space, transport, also, and events, because we don't want Muslim travelers, go to Japan and just sleep, eat. But we need them to, experience Japanese culture, right? For example, in Osaka here. And technology as enabler, perhaps we need chatbot or AI assistant. We have AI now, even though we don't know kanji or language Japanese, but AI can help us, all right? Integrate that. Voice translation and personalized recommendation and support, all right, through AI. And we also suggest pictogram visual guide instead of long direction or guide, easy to understand information for all. And by doing that, we hope that we can remove language and information barriers for all travelers, not only Muslim. All right, because we also has tourists that is not Muslim, but they don't eat, for example, all of the, for example, apa, babi kan, pigs, they don't eat that. We also has Indians, for example, they don't eat beef and veggie. So it's not only for Muslim, but for all races and religion. Next, on the accessibility, all right, not only halal food, but also Muslim need to know where they can pray. Perhaps we need centralized map and information. Who's gonna be the owner of that is another thing. If can we park it under ministry, for example? So when Muslim traveller go to Japan, where can they find it? Are they need to go to any ministry website so that then they can find it, or where? Who should owner that? And then Muslim friendly accommodation, mobility and transport information, and also another services, all right, especially for Muslim support, insurance. What happened if, for example, Muslim traveller die in Japan? What are the process that Japanese government need to think of? And next, on the awareness, okay, this actually, that particular awareness we get a lot from the Japanese community, on the awareness, on the education, you know, they say that actually most of them don't really understand what halal is. What do Muslim needs? Why? They need to understand. For example, Muslim don't eat, you know, pigs. Why? They want evidence. They want to know why. Besides that, Allah is not permitted that, but there must be a reason behind that. Why? On the scientific evidence or scientific aspect. Why do we need to, you know, wash this, you know, empat four areas of our body to take wudu? Why? Why face? Why hands? You know, even Muslim is not really know why. So if we don't know, for Muslim, if we don't know why, how can we, you know, create the awareness among the non-Muslim? That's another thing. And perhaps that is the important role of JDC here, Japan Dakwah Center, to, you know, create awareness. Create awareness to the not only non-Muslim but also Muslim, right? And so on the awareness also, same with the accessibility. That particular awareness can be created through a digital platform and updates on events and also education. Where can they find this awareness program, educational program beside JDC? Where? All right. And also through digital manga or storytelling, we try to integrate or incorporate what Japanese community almost, you know, mostly do. Okay, this is basically to create awareness among the Japanese community. All right, and also campaigns and social media um, uh, through targeted content or influencers, for example, you know, providing real story and testimony from the Muslim travelers and also Japanese community. Okay, and we need continuous improvement loop to fit the. I mean, we need to the data to fit in the framework. And perhaps after this, there are lots of other, you know, aspect that we can incorporate in the current framework. All right. Next. So this is what I see just now. Continuous loop is needed to improve, keep on improving the framework. Next. And this is one of the key findings of our workshop, from the two workshops in Malaysia and also Tokyo. Governance and support from the government is crucial here to enhance visitor satisfaction, strengthen Japan Muslim global relation, and deliver improved destination management. Next. So that's all from me. Any question regarding my slide? You can read the detailed report from the booklet. Any question, or perhaps you want you want to discuss later after second presentation? Okay. Ada soalan? Ya.
Just now I heard that you said about tadi ada kematian. Is that
Ya.
kan? So the halal tourism was not about food and beverage only. So the research about how the destination provide
Ya.
for Muslim traveller macam tu.
Ya, betul. It's not only
So, tadi saya tak nampak saya kat situ
Ah.
halal tourism ni hanya untuk makanan dan tu saja. Kita pun concern juga, I mean like if we go to groceries and then we find food to eat.
betul.
Minta maaf, I should have said my name Mawanda.
Ah.
I'm so sorry.
You're intern in JDC, eh? Okay.
I'm currently a business student.
Dekat?
UIA.
Alright.
I'm a business administration student. So my concern is about tadilah. So it's really interesting about kalau kita ada sembang sebelum ni dengan lecturer Yusim. There were some places that they were searching, they using tempat perkuburan tu apa? No. Dekat mana itu? Tempat perkuburan yang kita ada pakai. Before ni kita pakai, diorang pakai tempat perkuburan ada, I mean like Japanese people, they did not bury orang yang mati kan. So that orang Muslim ni kita akan tanam mayat dalam kubur. So hari tu kita bincang dengan lecturer Yusim. Kita pakai tanah perkuburan Wakayamai. I'm not sure, sorry. So that was really interesting lah. So that the procedure and so on.
Yeah.
So this halal tourism is not about food and beverage
Food
only.
and not food only.
Despite selain pemakaman, perkuburan itu, apa lagi selain soalan saya adalah apa lagi yang lain?
Thank you very much,
Mawadah.
Cik Mawadah. Actually, that particular question, a concern raised by Muslim community in Tokyo. Kan? Bukan Malaysia tak terfikir benda tu. Because kita tak ada masalah. There's no problem in Malaysia, such problem. So they say that, for example, even though that particular community dia like dah 10 years stay in Japan, they still thinking about the mati. Sampai mati, because we are not living for Muslim. I mean, I think all of the races kan, dia bukan fikir tentang hidup saja. But what happen if we die? And if we are Muslim, we have afterlife, right? So and then so we tell them, we inform that this is what Muslim friendly project is about. It's not about food only, because when we say about food, there are a lot of apps yang you boleh ni. Even though, as I mentioned just now, is not comprehensive enough, the data is not comprehensive and no real time data. Real time data is very important. For example, Family Mart ke or 7A, there are local producers. Kan? Takkan dia nak daftar. Local producer, for example, dia, they made that particular food at home. Kan? There's no macam ada chop ke or barcode, yang mengatakan this is, you can eat this. But actually benda tu halal. Perhaps made by Muslim. Tapi no real time data, tak ada. And this is actually tak ada masalah in Muslim country, itulah non-Muslim country ni. And if we support Muslim producers, business kan, I mean income for them. For example, kalau Muslim travelers that or Muslim community that stays in Japan kan, dia not only working tapi dia ada side income, side business kan, and they can boleh upgrade their life. So that will help Muslim community also. And that is about real time data. As I mentioned just now, we one of the problem is that finding proper place. Sebenarnya kita boleh solat di mana-mana kan. As for Muslim, kalau kita when we want to perform solat, kita solat je. But we want to respect local community. Kita tak nak border diorang, sebab diorang macam kenapa solat kat tepi jalan? Tak ada apa-apa, carilah tempat yang sesuai. So kita tak tahu mana tempat yang sesuai. Different culture, different perspective. Kan, tempat yang sesuai tu. And when we want to perform solat, we need to take wudu. As you know, Japanese dia tak suka tempat yang basah. Basah means kotor. So how can we perform that? How can we fulfill our needs, our Muslim needs, at the same time enjoy Japan environment? Kan? Itu satu masalah. Itu yang kita nak try to, as much as we can lah, to, close the gap.
I just want to add.
Yeah. Betul.
Yeah. The concern that you raised just now about that, it is also my own concern, because I asked around and I asked people, I asked someone, my Indonesian friend from Otsuka Masjid in Tokyo, what happened when people die in Japan. I just want to share. Actually, what happened when you die in Japan? Yes, of course you can pray the jenazah and mandi the jenazah lah. But the tanah perkuburan is also very limited. But you cannot manage the body like how we manage in our country, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to appoint one company in Japan to handle everything. This is what happened in Tokyo. I don't know in other area like Kuala Maksaka.
There is a company that
Yes, you must appoint that company. Dia akan bawa jenazah tu pergi ke tanah perkuburan. But of course you can follow lah. You can perform all the talqin, but the process to to tanam the jenazah tu must be handled by the company.
This is the suggestion or this is what
No, this is what currently happened in Japan. I mean in Tokyo, I'm not sure about the other location like Hokkaido or so I believe the same lah. This is what happened. So I think this is quite a big concern. So we are not talking only about halal, so we can also
Exactly.
the current situation to bring back bodies back to Malaysia will be cost.
It will be very high cost.
High, very high. Berapa? Do you know the
I
cost?
have no idea about the but it is very expensive.
Yeah, I know that in say somehow like 500,000 to bring bodies back.
Something
This is
like
not the price that many people can afford, right?
Yes.
So this kind of concern can be really discussed.
Yeah, we can address this. We can discuss in detail on how to.
All right, sure. And this is just for your concern. This session will be recorded. Are you okay? All right. Thank you. Okay. So we have one question.
No question. Z nak present something.
All right.
Halal Navi.
Okay. We have one participant online from Halal Navi. Halal Navi. Okay, Navi too. Okay. Actually, they are our collaborators. One of our collaborators. Okay, for this project. So yeah, we have Mr. Z together with us, and he wants to share something with us today. Okay. All right.
Let him send the material to me.
Okay.
I'll project.
All right. Sure. But he will speak kan? Dia akan bercakap. So can we set up?
Put the speaker on the Google Meet here. You know.
No, bukan. Boleh tak? Letak mic sini. Okay. Alright. Alright. Z, we will put the mic on the speaker and you can present your slides. So you just have you shared the slides with us?
Just a moment. The slides are they're currently like on my desktop under design.
Oh, yeah. Actually, open Google Meet.
Hang on, Z.
Hang on.
Okay.
Itu yang kita nak saya.
Link Google Meet.
Link.
Kasih doktor punya.
Doktor punya link kan? Memanglah. Kan boleh share link dalam grup halal.
Boleh, tapi diorang tak ada akses. Doktor kena buka juga. Kena sign in kat sana.
Oh, ya. Kejap
Cek ini doktor punya.
Kejap, I buka my Gmail kat sini Dan Gmail saya nanti saya share.
Dalam grup kita
Saya nak bagi link terus saya bukakan je.
Tak apa, saya buka Gmail saya dulu kat sini. Sebab saya kena login saya punya Gmail lah kan. Untuk host.
tak, klik je dalam link tu, babe. Klik je link tu. Klik link tu, memang Z ada dalam tu.
Kena
Share link kepada saya.
Okey, kejap. Kejap.
Tak payah tukar account, tak payah tukar.
Memang tak tukar akaun, pakai akaun aku je tu. Kejap
Shani, panjang boleh ke? Pendek pun boleh. Doktor. Buka je lah Google Meet kat sana. Lepas
Ya. Ya, ni tengah buat. Kejap
invite je. Hantar link tu, kita admit dalam ni.
Ni yang doktor bagi link.
So dia tak perlu lah nak ni.
Saya dah share.
So, terus ni lah pop-up tu ni.
Speaker boleh dengar ke?
Dari TV juga.
Speaker kat sini lah. Admit.
Okay. Dalam Facebook live capture tak? The tiny microphone by the computer.
Okay, to share.
Tiny microphone ni bagi
Ini boleh.
okay.
Dekat speaker.
Alright.
Sound tu kalau kat TV.
Kita nak besarkan ke ataupun selesa macam ni?
Boleh.
Besarkan.
Boleh pin dia. Ada pin dah. Ada ni. Besarkan.
Okay.
Boleh Mr. try cakap?
Z, can you try speak something?
Ada echo.
Echo.
Tutup mic.
Sure, tutup.
Semua kat sini kena tutup mic. Tutup mic.
Okay, can you hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Yes. Wonderful.
Yes.
Nice.
I can hear some echo on your side. Probably that's why that put up the mic.
Testing. Can you hear us? Z.
Dah mute macam.
Can you hear us clearly, Z?
Oh, sebab sini tak ada mic
Oh.
Kalau nak cakap kita kena buka dengan dia.
If you're okay for me to go ahead, I'll just give you a brief explanation.
Buka situ. Kontrol situ.
Z, can you hear us clearly? Can you hear us?
Sorry, I can't hear anything.
Testing.
Buka mic situ. Doktor boleh tak?
Can you
hear us? I can hear you now, yes.
Kalau nak communicate kat situ.
Z, can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Tak ada.
Alright, Z, you can start your presentation.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for giving me the time to speak. So my name is Ishan. I'm the CMO of I-Halal Tourism. So I'm originally from the UK. I've been living in Japan about 15 years now, and my main work is related to the halal food industry through social media promotions, as well as the education industry, and helping young Muslims to connect better with the theme in Japanese. So actually, it's a little bit strange because I work with I-Halal Tourism, but I want to introduce a different app to you guys today, and this is an idea that was brought to me by a couple from the Mauritius and Canada. And they've already been working on this, and it's already been launched in a few different countries. So some of the issues that were brought up today in your first presentation is something that this group has already been working on from a tech perspective. So their goal is not only provide halal restaurant information, but everything that a Muslim needs from the cradle to the grave. For example, if you are looking for a nikah, where are you going to find the imam that speaks your language, that's going to be able to explain the benefits of marriage and perform the ceremony for you? If you're looking to purchase a house without riba, how are you going to find that? You need to have access to that information. You need a butcher's. Where are you going to find fresh halal meat? You have access to that information. You have studies as well. Now, this app is specifically aimed at helping even local businesses as well. So, for example, if you are a Muslim who bakes halal cakes, for example, but no one knows who you are, without spending thousands on Google, it's very hard for people to discover what you do. One of the things that I realized in Japan is that we're a very, very tiny Muslim community, and we're very spread apart the whole country. There's some amazing, talented people across the whole country of Japan. They just don't know that each other exist. So one of the reasons that I started the work that I do is basically for my children, right? My children are born here. They love Japan. And I wanted them to experience the same level of Islam that I experienced in the UK. Now, what makes my life different in Japan is I came from a non-Muslim country to a non-Muslim country. So I was raised as a Muslim, but in a non-Muslim country. So I was able to see what was successful and what wasn't successful in terms of deen, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of halal food, in terms of mosques. I could see what went really well and what didn't go well. Now, Japan, in my opinion, is the Meccan period of Islam. And a lot of Muslims who come to Japan from Muslim countries directly, they are in Medina period, right? They have Sharia, everything is established for them. So when they come to Japan with the understanding that everything's established, it's almost like stepping back in time. Like for me, Japan is like England in the 1990s. The way the halal food shops are, the way the mosques are, how the community is. So I've already lived this life when I was a child. So I can see the potential of where it can go, but I can also see where it went wrong. So my goal, I used to be an English teacher, and I quit my job to focus mainly on making sure Japan goes in the right direction. With the infrastructure, with education, and just with an overall understanding of Islam in general. And one of those needs is not only food, but as mentioned, cradle to the grave. As you mentioned, as a Muslim traveler, if you were to pass away, or if your partner were to pass away, how would you be able to arrange the situation for them if you don't speak the language? Now, this app actually has an AI built into it called Habibi, which gives you live information. So, for example, if you're taking a train from Kyoto station to Tokyo, and if you're afraid you may miss Zohar prayer if you take this train, you can ask the AI, if I take this train at this time, will I miss Zohar? Where can I pray Zohar around me? And it will give you that information live. Now, of course, it needs to be trained with a lot of other data, but we're working with teams from pretty much all around the world. They've already launched in Canada. They've already launched in Mauritius. They've just made a deal with the UK. They're trying to launch in Japan as well as Singapore and Malaysia too, and Indonesia as well. So their model is that they approach the Halal certification board first to get verified information only. Because we only want to share verified restaurants that are halal by official certification boards. Now in Japan, there's no umbrella certification board. You have places that are following, I would say, like a Muslim country standard or international standard for export. And you have the complete opposite, where it's basically not even halal. Some of the Japanese industries, the way that they've been taught halal is like, if it's not pork, if it's not alcohol, then it's halal. There's no consideration taken into account for things like contamination, najasa. Like, all of these things were never explained properly to Japanese restaurants. And then when the halal certification board comes in and tries to certify them, the whole situation becomes very, very difficult. And they actually end up leaving the halal business. So there's a few big issues across the board when it comes to standardizing certification styles across Japan. And this is where a lot of my other work comes into place as well. So I'm just going to present something else to you. And I think this, sorry if I take up too much of your time. This is something that I've been working on with, are you able to see the screen here?
Yes.
I can't see you guys when I share this. Okay. Thank you. So this is something I've been working on with a Japanese Shinto friend who I met recently. And this is specifically for Nagoya, because Nagoya has the Asian Games coming soon. But the goal of this presentation is to help people sort of understand the journey of halal in a way that makes sense to them as Japanese people. And I know you mentioned earlier on that we don't want to take away from the Japanese culture. Islam is not an Arab religion. Most of you guys there are probably from Malaysia, so you understand. A lot of the Muslims that I meet, Japanese, they feel if I take shahada, I have to eat curry every day. So, you can still eat your country's food, right? So part of my goal is to make Japan, I think Brother Zulkarnain from JDC understands this very well, is keeping Japan Japanese. And that's the essence of it. But we have to go back to the root of what it is. So just to explain to you quickly a little bit about what we do with our certification style is that we also certify restaurants as Muslim friendly and halal. But the Muslim friendly is basically to get them on the roadmap, to get them started. Our foundation level certification is there's no contamination at all. If you can make sure there's no contamination and the food that you're actually serving to the Muslim is halal and verified by a third person, you're able to serve this. And you can still serve pork and alcohol in another part of the restaurant. That's how it was like in the UK as a non-Muslim country, to provide those options for people in the beginning. But the goal is to, of course, move towards 100% halal. And we actually make our certification cheaper. The most expensive price is the lowest level. And as they move towards halal, it becomes cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And the reason why we do this is because as a Muslim, even they are non-Muslim, we want them to get benefit of halal. We want them to, benefit the halal. We want them to enter Jannah. Basically, that's the goal of why we're here. We are the people who are here to reflect, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala's message in this life. So it doesn't matter if they're Muslims or non-Muslims. We are there to make sure that even they can, accept halal and move towards that journey, but step by step, the way that the Prophet ﷺ taught in Mecca in the beginning. Alcohol wasn't banned straight away, it was step by step. They didn't work on the major sins straight away, it was step by step. They build a love for Allah first in their heart. So how can we do that for Japanese people is the method that we use, so I'm just going to skip through a bunch of the data stuff here, but the method that we use to get them into it is by simply going back to the really basics of what is Islam. And we get them to think about what is Islam, and then we get them to tell us what they think Islam is. And then from there, we explain to them very simply the definitions of Islam, that Islam is peace, but it's peace through surrender. So they don't understand what that concept means. So we explain it to them visually. It's like, an ice cube and a cup of water. They're both made of the same thing, H2O, but one of them is in a state of resistance. And when you surrender, you melt and you return back to the water. And as Muslims, when we surrender and we take our shahada, we accept Islam, we return back to Allah. And we find that peace and the salam in our life. Now, life will do this to you anyway. You're going to grow old and you're going to melt and you're going to die and you're going to return to Allah anyway. So we're trying to tell them that the choice that we make to do this actively is what makes us a Muslim. That we choose to surrender and to frame this positively. Because a lot of the people that we teach, before we even go in and tell them this is halal, this is haram, this is the restaurant stuff, we're fighting a very negative image of Islam anyway. Those first questions, what is Islam? Some of the answers are amazing. The things that they come out with from the information that they have. So our goal is first to reframe their mind about what Islam is, but reframe it using their words in things that are necessary in their culture. Then what are Muslims? We explain to them very simply. A Muslim is just someone who has surrendered, and they could be among any nationality and things like this. Then we go into their daily practices and ask the Japanese people, what do they believe that the Muslims practice daily? And then we explain to them a little bit in detail about what that is, some of these daily practices. And then we go into the deep question of who is Allah. Because the reason we do any of this is because we have a Quran and we have a Lord. And they don't know that. So when we talk about halal and haram and all these concepts, the reason why we have it is because we have a religion, we have a Lord. That's why we do it. That's the easy answer for us as Muslims. But for the Japanese, they don't know. So they don't know who Allah is. They have an image of Allah, but they don't know who Allah is. Some Muslims have difficulty to answer this question as well. So we take time to discuss this together. And then we share who Allah is. And we give, first of all, the easy definition. Allah is just the word for Yutsunakami, one God. And then we make that connection between Allah and his attributes. We let them know that Allah has all of these beautiful names and these qualities. And we share with them the journey of man from love. In the beginning there's love, created out of love. We were sent here to prove this love, and we return to love, and we reframe the words. And then we tell them using their words. So the Japanese believe Bushido is the code of the samurai. There's 7 tenets of Bushido, which every Japanese person follows deeply in their soul, to every degree. And all of these can be connected to Islam in some way. So we're reframing Islam using their language, and using things that connect to their hearts. This is before we've even talked about, halal and haram food. This is the presentation that we give to restaurants when we're teaching them about halal and haram. And then we told them, the mission statement of a Muslim. Like every company has a mission statement, right? What is the mission statement of Nike? Like just do it or something. Or every company has their mission statement. So what is the mission statement of a Muslim, of one quarter of the world? And the way the Japanese people read this sounds very harsh with the translation. Allah no kami ni wa no hokani kami wa nashi. So there is no God except Allah. But how the Japanese view this? They have a country where they believe in 8 million gods. So it doesn't make sense for them that why is God so non-inclusive? He doesn't want to be friends with the other gods. This is the things that they mention. So we reframe this to tell them that actually, we can put these words in here. There is no light except love. These are the names of Allah. We can replace all of these. There is no peace no light except peace. So we show them that actually all of these can go back to Allah. The things that we all believe as humans that we connect with, whether it's love, it's light, it's mercy, these all connect to Allah to some level. And then now they understand what we believe in, because we've approached it with them using their language, using concepts that they understand as humans that are universal. And then we show them one of the names of Allah is peace, salam. And this, I don't know if you know what this symbol is. This is wa. Everything Japanese comes from this symbol. So washoku, Japanese food, is peace food. Wafuku, Japanese clothes, is peace clothes. So we connect the name of salam to Allah using the strongest characters in their language, because they understand this. Every Japanese person follows the concept wa o mamoru. It means to protect peace. If you translate this, it's to protect salam, to protect Islam. So they're protecting it anyway. They don't make loud noises in the restaurants. They're always picking up the trash. They're protecting peace. They're protecting Islam in their day-to-day nature. When I first came here as a Muslim, when I was 16 years old, one of the things that surprised me was these people have more adab than the people in my country. So I was really surprised, because I used to wake up for Fajr and I see a lady in a kimono just picking up trash off the road with small tweezers. And I'm looking at her, I'm thinking, I'm sleepy because it's Fajr time. You woke up before me and you dressed in the kimono. I know how long it takes to put these things on. And you're out there picking up the rubbish. Why are you doing that? What's the purpose of this? So it's innately in them, this fitra, right? This belief of peace. Business culture has made people forget, time makes people forget. So we have to remind them that this is what you actually believe in, peace. And everyone in Japan will agree. And we connect these all together. Peace is salam. This is one of the names of Allah. And then we help them to come back into that state of peace. We do a little muraqabah, help them to understand what peace is. And then we tell them, Allah brought peace to us. We don't keep peace to ourselves. We share it with other people. That's what everything in existence does. And Japan, as a country, they understand this from their language. If you look at the kanji for person, hito, it's two people together. You have to support each other. So they understand this linguistically. Japan is a country where everyone has to be conscious of their neighbor, because it's not like the West. The Western countries are hunter-gatherer. The father goes out and kills the animal and brings the meat. Japan is a rice field country. If I pour water on my rice field, it will go to my native rice. So that we work together. So there's a lot of connections with Islam in the group culture here as well. So we use this to help them understand, what it is that we do, Muslims. And now, up until this point, they are looking at Islam like a mirror, because they're seeing themselves. Everything I've explained here is just Japanese people, but they're seeing Islam through this lens. Now their heart has opened up to what what Allah is. And then I tell them, look, the purpose of a Muslim's life is to be at peace with yourself, with gratitude. And then we tell them these names of Allah. Allah, we've introduced some of these names. Allah has these amazing qualities, but one quality He does not have. And what do you think it is? And this gets them really thinking, because I've introduced some qualities to them and they don't know what is there. What is this quality that Allah doesn't have then? And we have them think about that for a moment. And this is actually one of the qualities that the human being, this is the only gift that we can actually bring to Allah ourselves, is humility. Allah does not need to be humble because He's the Lord of the universe. We have to be humble. And the peak state of humans is when we put our head to the floor, right? When we in sujood, this is when we're closest to Allah. I spoke to a karate instructor. He's a 77 years old man, and he's like one of the top instructors of karate in Japan. And I went to one of his classes, and the whole class, he just taught about bowing. And I asked him, like, what is the purpose of this bow? Like, why are you doing this? And the answer he gave me, he says, when I put my head to the ground is when I'm closest to my creator. This is the answer he gave me. So they know innately. Every human knows. They've just put it into different packages. So helping them to reconnect and understand what those packages are. And then now the Japanese understand why we pray Salah. Why does a Muslim have to pray 5 times a day? Because we are doing basically being humble, cancel. The thing in Japan, which is very highly admired, having good manners, right? And we choose to do this. It's the same path as the Bushi, the samurai warriors. We're choosing to do this 5 times a day to connect. And then we show them that actually these 5 pillars of Islam are all connected to different parts of our life. They're not just abstract concepts. The shahada is to raise our spirits. The salah is for our mind. The zakat is for our heart. We give so we don't feel stingy. So we let go of things that may have value for us. The fasting is for our soul. So we learn how to control ourselves. And the Hajj is actually for our body. It's a physical journey that we have to take. And all of these are, they develop the human system. So now they have an understanding of our practices. They're not just doing this. It's not like a foreign alien terrorist practice. This is something that's actually building the human step by step. And the Japanese know this because all of their systems do this. Their school system does this. Their kindergarten system does this. Their martial arts systems do this. Their government does this. The companies do this. So this system is explained to them in a way that they understand. Then we go into what is the Quran then. Then we hear their answers on this. And then we explain to them that the Quran is the final message from this creator, from peace, the source of peace. And the message of the Quran is 3, living with gratitude, put others before yourself, and be humble. And this is how the Prophet ﷺ lived his life. And these connect again with the virtues of Bushido that the Japanese people highly value anyway. And then we connect with the food, and this is how we bring the halal into it. So we show them through the language itself. Peace food, even if you look at the traditional Japanese diet, like rice, fish, and vegetables. It's all halal. It's only the sauce or something they add on top, right? So and they say it's the food that gives you the longest life. If you look at places like Okinawa, longevity of your life is healthy for you. So then now they've connected the match, why we do what we do, who we are, how close we are to them anyway, and actually how close they are to us as people. And how in order to protect Islam or protect peace, they have to protect Islam by protecting Allah anyway. So what they do on a day-to-day basis is actually ibadah, if they understand what that is. So they're a perfect match for halal. And now we go into explaining what halal and haram is, and they have an understanding of why these rules are. And it's the same as a Muslim. Like when you're born as a Muslim, you don't know the rules. You don't know the deep rules of like why we don't eat pork, the science stuff behind it. We never have to learn this stuff. We just say, oh, because Allah told us, so we don't do it. We never have to explain the science because we have love in our heart. And I think this method, it's much faster. So, well, I did this presentation to a group of Japanese businessmen and restaurant owners. The next week, the guy who invited me to do this presentation, he came and to Jummah, and he prayed the Jummah prayer beside me. And that was the win for me, actually, to be honest. Not the fact that the restaurants are, going to start halal food. This is, of course, beneficial for them, for the dunya side. But the fact that he just turned up, and I didn't even know he knows how to do the prayer. So he researched this by himself, and he just did the salah. And then after the salah, he got to see the Muslims, like, people after, how everyone comes in and says salam alaikum in the mosque. And he was like, this place is, they're operating at such a high level of consciousness because they're aware of something bigger than them. So now he's actually going to create a peace tour in Japan, which will start in Hiroshima and end in some places. You're going to have private onsen because he understands the Muslim modesty. So you have a whole island basically to yourself in terms of tourism, because I didn't know, actually he's a very, very well-off man. So he turned up to the mosque with a Tesla, and I literally just met him randomly. I met him because online I saw a picture of him riding a horse while shooting arrows. He's a Kido instructor. He teaches Kido, and he does horseback Kido. And he's also very well connected with a place called Ise in Japan, which is called Holy Land. Ise Jingu is like a holy shrine area. I've been to Ise Jingu. I've spoken to some of the top priests there as well for all the martial arts related stuff. And he wants Muslims to come to Ise Jingu and teach this Islam, because when he sees this, he's like, I never realized that I was looking at a mirror because no one told me. I just got the information for what I had around. So as Muslims living here, the approach to, I would say, accelerate all of this work is using the hearts of 98% Japanese people that already live in Japan. There's 2% foreigners, and we're less than, I don't know how much, 0.1 something percent. So we're always relying on the outside finance or something like help from so many places. It's difficult to get things moving. Of course, it's important and it's beneficial for the work that we do. But the people here, they already have great resources. They already have, I always tell Japanese people, there's two things Japanese people have, which I feel they do better than anywhere else in the world. Is in Japanese, they call omotenashi and omoyari. Omotenashi is how you serve your customer, how you serve people. You can find the examples even in the small candy, like how they wrap it nicely and how many wrappers, right? And then omoyari is how they care of other people. Whenever I talk to them, I try to make them expand this concept in their hearts. That you have something amazing in you. Actually, these are Islam. These are concepts of Islam. Put people before yourself. This is the qualities of the Prophet ﷺ before he even became a messenger. For 40 years, he was putting people before himself. So he was like a tunnel, it's described, right? Money coming from the back and comes out through the front. He's just giving and giving and giving. Yeah. So this Japanese people do that. You get lost in Japan, some stranger will take you to where you need to go. This actually happened. This is an embarrassing story. 2-3 weeks ago, I've been in this country 15 years. 2-3 weeks ago, I got on the wrong Shinkansen. I was supposed to go to Tokyo, and I ended up in Kyoto. Because there was 2 trains on the same platform leaving exactly at the same time. And I was sitting in the waiting room. I just looked at the time, I just jumped on the train, and then I was like, oh, hang on a second. This is not going the right way. And before I could get off, the doors closed. And the moment the doors closed, 3 passengers, I didn't say anything. They just got up, and they started calling the train attendant. He's got on the wrong train. What can we do to get him on the right train? Does he need to buy the new ticket like that? I speak Japanese, but they're speaking for me. They jumped in before I even had a chance to explain myself to anything what was going on. That's awareness. That's taqwa, actually. They have consciousness of Allah's creation going through hardship, and what can we do to help them? So they already have the foundations there. It's up to us to show them who we really are, what we can really do. And that comes down to correcting our manners, being mindful of where we are, where we're living. I live in Nagoya, so Nagoya has about 15 or 16. So I travel on the different mosques just to see what the community is struggling with, what issues they have, to try and help them to integrate better into the society. Because like I mentioned, in the UK, what went really well is when UK-born Muslims started to become the imam. When it was bad in the UK is when outside Muslims were becoming imams in the mosque, because there's no way for them to connect to each other. So the imam, if the imam is coming from Pakistan or somewhere, and the children are born in the UK, first of all, they don't have the same language. They have totally different life experiences. They have totally different worries. You know, you should be able to go to your imam and say, look, I'm worried about this. I have questions about this. The imam has no way to communicate with them. This happens in the family level as well. My grandparents, they don't speak English well. So I could never learn Islam from them. I had to learn it from myself, you know, through teachers and other things later on because of the situation we're in. So now when Muslims come here to live, they're coming from their culture. Their kids are basically Japanese, right? They live here, they go to school here. So the goal should actually be, how can they learn and build their connection with Islam in Japanese? So I remember a conversation I had with Brother Zulkarnain. It was like, we need to build Japanese imams. We need to build strong Japanese education centers. When the Prophet ﷺ moved from Mecca to Medina, the first thing he did was create a school and remove poverty. We are supposed to benefit the lives of people here, not the other way around. People come here to look for a job or you know, benefit themselves in a monetary way. Our systems, our tech, our knowledge, you know, mashallah, all these people that have come here today, smart people. Like I heard the first part of the presentation, you guys have done a lot of research. So you guys have amazing talent and amazing ability. So when we benefit someone, and you have to understand how the human heart works. If I do something good for you, you're going to like me. This is how the heart was created. So if we do nice things for nice people, even if they're Muslim or non-Muslim, that's how we will get them to support us. They will do it naturally. You know, yesterday I went to eat udon and I forgot to take the tray. And a Japanese guy gave me the tray for me and my daughters. Then I gave him water while I was filling the water. Then when my daughter dropped something, he sat at the table next to us. When my daughter dropped something, he picked something up. So you can see how the kindness spreads, right? So this is what I believe Muslims have to be educated on even before coming to Japan. When I'm here as a representative of Halal Nabi, as a company, right? But before this, I'm here on this earth, in this country, as a representative of who? Of Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, of Al-Wadud. This is who I'm representing. I have to represent love where I am, wherever I go. When I leave the room, people say, he came representing love, or he came representing love. This is what we have to bring to the people. Yes, there's things that shock us, especially if you come from a Muslim country, right? And you see a non-Muslim country and the way they do things, like the pachinko, for example. I had no idea what these things were, these huge gambling halls, right? People have never seen these things. But I grew up in the UK, so I got to see life with, you know, a lot of different nationalities, a lot of different people. So having that understanding and that mercy towards the people here will accelerate all of our work tenfold. So the two things I wanted to leave you guys with today is first, yes, there is an app currently in production that will assist everything that you guys are already working on, and I will connect you with them so you guys can share your resources. Because better to have 10 smart people in the same room, save your time, build the same thing together, because you're all going to benefit from this. This app, by the way, for example, if I lived in France, my app is in French. When I land in Japan, automatically it changed to Japanese. And I can change the languages to any language I want. And also, one of the reasons why this app uses AI and other features is because it was created in the Mauritius, where a lot of women can't read. So if they cannot read, they can't shop. So they've used picture things as well. how they can purchase food just through circling items and things like this to make life easier for them. There's going to be funeral services, catering services, anything that a Muslim needs in that country, wherever they are, they're going to be able to have access to it because we're going to start building it through that system. I think that's going to be more long-lasting. By the way, this is the first step. The second step, inshallah, we're looking for investment because I want to make an app where kids actually benefit from studying the deen. So the more that they learn the Quran, they're going to get coupons. Those coupons they're going to be able to use in the Muslim restaurants. So to support the business, dunya and akhirah. And we're also trying to build, this is a crazy goal, but we have a law that can make anything possible, is I want to remove riba from every Muslim's life. If every Muslim in Japan, there's like, 200,000 Muslims living in Japan. If every Muslim in Japan donates 100 yen every day, we could purchase a house for every Muslim within a span of years with no riba. Now imagine this is one small percentage of Muslims in Japan. And imagine the whole world did this, or each country built an organization to do this, where you literally just collect, £1, 100 yen per day from every Muslim. By the end of the month, you already purchased 10 houses at the average house price without riba. Then what if the Muslim's house is purchased? What do they have to worry? They focus on raising their children, on spreading the deen, right? Because your worldly affairs are taken care of. And it's all sadaqah jariyah for every person who does it. It's a win-win situation. So we just need the resources, responsible people, getting people in the right rooms, talking to each other. So thank you so much for allowing me to take so much of your time, by the way. I'm sorry, I'm things planned. Stuck out here for your time, and I'll let you guys continue.
All right, thank you very much, Z. Can you hear me?
Sorry, I can't hear.
Okay. Thank you
very much, Z, for the presentation. All right. That was very interesting, right? And we get lots of, even we have a lot of Muslim here, and we learn. I believe that we learned something new from this presentation. Thank you very much. So next, I would like to invite Puan Farzana to present her slides on the technology aspect.
Test. Can you hear me, Z? Can you hear me? Oh, dia tak join lah.
Nak share yang tadi ke?
Yang slide hitam.
Ni boleh ni. Sebab kita dah ada. Sini lihat.
Z boleh dengar. Kita back to normal setting tadi. Yang saya. Okay.
Dia dengar bagaimana? That's why my question dia. Tapi dia kan ikut. Oh, dia tutup sana dah. Okay.
Guna mic ni untuk
Oh.
Sama. Ni boleh dekatkan. Dah boleh.
Dekat je.
Macam bon.
Macam mana? Terbalik. Okay. Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Can you... Z, are you here? Are you there?
Yes.
I think so. Boleh? Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you for still listening. For those who are in the JDC Facebook Live. So I'm here as part of the team from UC Utara Malaysia. University Utara Malaysia, we have Kuala Lumpur campus located in the heart of city of KL. So our angle of research concern also in terms of the technology wise. So I'm here to give the technology perspective in a sense of what kind of suitable technology that can probably reduce the disparity of information, uncertainty, the gap. I think most part of this um, dimensions have been presented just now with presentation from Dr. Aisha and also sharing from Z from Halal Navi just now. What I'm here is probably to share the lens from technology related ideas coming from the feedback from our workshops in KL and Tokyo. So part of it, there are 5 things concerning in terms of the information access. How can the information to be able to be provided easily on mobile and probably available in the intended languages of the traveler, of the Muslim, and also how far can the system can be trusted and verification done by the halal authority in Japan, and as well as any authority that is endorsed by our own JAKIM in Malaysia. So of course the third thing, navigation and wise, discovery, translation and languages are all being presented and discussed earlier. And of course the backbone of the technology and also the availability of the information for the Muslim traveller when they go to any certain area is based from the database and information, right, goes from the community knowledge, local knowledge, as what has been presented by Z just now. So today is more towards we want to probably want to check on whether is there any new things that you wanted to the audience here wanted to share with us in terms of what we heard before in Tokyo is that, for example, the online information may not match to the situation on the arrival. For example, the availability of information like what we have been using halal Japan apps, certain ingredient, because we do not read the kanji, we cannot understand the whole thing, and so it kind of provides some kind of gray area there. What can we do? Perhaps we need some feedback or suggestion from the audience here. How can we interpret differently from the halal and Muslim friendly concept? So there are certain gray area there as well. We also found out that the traveller cross-check the apps with reviews, local Muslim, malls and personal contact. So there are some disparity of information, disparity of availability of those as well. In terms of the logo and recognition mark, whether can that reduce the uncertainty and how far the people or the traveller can trust and understand that. And this research also revealed that the level of testing our belief in our teaching of Islam. Okay, probably in Malaysia we are really follow the Shafi'i teachings, but when we travel, we felt the halal anxiety. Halal anxiety. If we go to any eatery, can I eat that? Can I trust the explanation from the restaurant owner? Oh, this is halal meat. How far can I trust that? So we kind of create some kind of halal anxiety there. Okay, but the effort made by JDC here is really good in terms of for the Muslim, when we go to any localization area, we kind of back to our basic. We go to the masjid, we go to the and the institution here provide some kind of spillover effect. There are a lot of halal eatery near the masjid, near the, like what we are experiencing here in JDC. Alhamdulillah, the eateries here, it's just a corner from the JDC. Okay. So these are what we heard from the workshop is that the travel confidence need to be fulfilled in the sense of the searching of the maps, platforms, especially the platform just now is being beautifully presented by Z just now, in terms of the translation, how far the traveler would love to have some kind of travel guide that understand the language, and also the social proof, for example, how far the outsider or the foreigner can blend in with the culture of Japan, not only from the eating and, you know, in terms of the fashion wise, the cosmetic product, certain maybe some kind of trend experienced by the Gen Z just now, and human network, the connection, the context. So I'm sure that this is very well explained by Z just now. Not only level 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5, but we want to go right until number 5. The connections between the community, the provider, the feedback is much more, need to be more engaging, and we need to tap that area, okay? Because currently, what we have now is probably in what we have heard from the workshops is more towards number 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we want to push the envelope more, going towards connections, you know, making sure, or to empower the community. Empower the community. In fact, most of the audience here just now live in Japan, doctor, and you know, you also play a very important role here, you know, something like that. So the design principle of the technology should move forward in terms of to be much clearer in terms of the using the pictures, pictograph, showing more context to make an informed decisions for the traveler. So this is what probably our intended next, maybe our next part of the research, to come up with the this framework. So far, it's still not really completed yet. So for today's session is we want to maybe highlight what are some of the aspects that we need to focus. Maybe ask your feedback from this audience. Do you agree to have maybe to be the halal principle need to be much more defined and specific, which is the ingredient information need to be more clearer, English support, in terms of the information, the important information cannot be hide, it has to be more visible. Okay, and also interpretation of halal may be different from other country. So because maybe the from the Middle East, they might have different perspective and views. For Indonesia and Malaysia, we have very similar perspective in terms of that. Okay. So the challenge, this on the left hand side here is the challenge, and this could be on the right hand side here could be the response that we should do. For example, the fragmented information that we are experiencing right now, we need to have some kind of shared database, something like that. And the listing, all listings, for example, need to be more, to give more empowerment to the community to provide very updated ones like what we are experiencing in JDC. The halal meaning currently is not really clear, disparity information there. So we need to have a more transparent, you know, language barrier, multi-language, and so the trust gap is what we want to make it more narrow, to bridge the gap. So therefore, technology should make the ecosystem easier to understand, not to create another layer of complexity. Perhaps we do not need maybe another apps per se, but we have to think of how to create the empowerment in terms of multiple actors or multiple stakeholders. Okay, this is the final part. We would like to have some kind of input from the audience, the digital pain point for the Muslim travelers here. Okay, we have audience here, our interns, beloved interns at the back there, who are here maybe less than 1 year. We need the input from you guys, yes? What is the pain point? Apa masalah yang terbesar bila you datang Jepun ni? Okay. Secondly, what information should be verified and by who? Do you think that we need to have, government per se, like what presented by Dr. Aisyah, to have, tourism board, tourism ministry to some kind of endorse certain apps for the traveller to come and use that app? Okay. Number 3, is a halal specific platform useful, or should Muslim friendly features sit inside mainstream travel platform? Okay, do we have to be, very, very bold, put forward the halal thingy in certain platform, or can we just settle with to be, minority based here in Japan? Okay, what do you think on that? And maybe to add what kind of other missing elements or missing information or missing construct that we might, or the team might be overlooked or terlepas pandang. Okay, so at the end of this session, what matters most is your feedback. Okay, I'm sure that sugar coating kind of thing might be going on here, but we are much more happy if you can reach out to us personally. Okay, I'm from UC Tara Malaysia, Dr. Aisyah from UC Malaya. We will share our contacts, later, so we can have a very private sharing. Yes. Okay. Okay, so I think the session starts now. Right? All right. So thank you so much. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Alright. Okay. So now we start the Q&A and discussion session. Perhaps you want to go.
Small group.
Small group. Rapat-rapat kan. Kan? It should be macam round table.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. This is a relaxed session anyway. Kita nak buat berapa group? How many of us? Kan? Agak
Are you there?
tak okay je. Tapi because I'm just direct on the aircon. Z tak ada ke?
Z is here, but we cannot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're gonna start our discussion with the participants here. Alright. So, are you going to stay? So we set the
Google Meet. Macam tadi balik. Mana tak? Buka balik Google Meet tadi.
Okay, Zana, you need the session. Z is asking something.
Okay. First of all, we're gonna let the participants go in a small group first. Okay. How can we divide the person, the participant?
Actually, kita tak perlu divide into groups because you already know kan, dah tahu dah, what's the gap, what is our current finding, and Z also has presented something today about their apps, right? And so we would like to have further feedbacks from them, Z, right? On perhaps other concerns that we are, mislooked before this. So perhaps Cik Mawada can start something. Alright. So just now Z already, he said that Halal Nabi is developing it. The app is already there or still in the developing process? Development process?
So the app which I have shared with you in this presentation is not a halal, it's from someone else. It's a couple that are from the Mauritius center. So the man in charge of it, he's from a Sharia real estate in Mauritius. And his wife is she's in charge of halal so she creates all certifications and audits this around the world. So coming together, they both realized
Lagging.
got a million apps for many different things. Like to put it all together in one. So the app will only give you all your restaurant and prayer times, but it will also learn tafsir and hadith. We're going to be putting
Boleh buka kita punya TikTok yang live. A little bit, you know.
Kena audio record.
Oh, kena audio record.
Doktor suruh.
Oh, okay. Hold my phone je.
Apa nanti tu kita lupa lah macam. It's breaking up.
your
We can't hear your voice. This now is breaking up. A bit lagging. Okay.
Can you hear me?
All right. It's good now.
Where did you hear answer? Where did you hear answer? I'll go back and run it back. So
Okay.
The app that it works is not related to Halal Nabi. So Halal Nabi is specifically for Japan. It's for restaurant information, booking restaurants and hotels and something. The app we just introduced to you is called Halali. This is developed outside of Japan. Halal Nabi is outside Japan, a Muslim app for all services related to Muslims. So not specifically for travel, but for life in general. If you need a Muslim lawyer, if you need someone to do the henna for your wedding, all services are available as long as the services are available in that country. So we want to basically give every Muslim who has a business platform a voice and also information for Muslims, around the world. So I'll give you an example of how this will work. Let's say a fun example in Japan. When we have the announcement for Eid, there's a moon sighting committee which has a Facebook Live. If you know, you know. They have a Facebook Live that goes on every year, and then they connect with every mosque around the country, and then they make the official announcement a few hours later. Through this app, you just send one message, and every person who's using the app and every mosque will get the announcement straight away. So we're able to connect with every Muslim. So, for example, we have a small community in Japan. If someone passes away, and we want to gather people for janazah prayer, even if they're not physically able to attend, they can pray in absence. If the awareness is there, let's say someone of importance was able, someone lived in Tokyo, they passed away, but Muslims in, let's say, Kyushu were benefiting from this person's knowledge or something, they would be able to pray for that person because they would have knowledge of this person. This is what actually in the UK, I'm not sure if they do something like this in the UK. This is very common. When someone has passed away, and if you're in they used to use WhatsApp groups then, or Facebook groups, if someone has passed, they share the information. This brother has passed, this sister has passed, and then everyone can do that because it's collective, responsibility for our people. But in Japan, some reverts, their parents don't even know they revert to Islam. So when they pass away, no one can take care of their needs, their rights at the end. So if they're a member of the mosque will know. The mosque will share the information. Someone, if they don't have money to pay for the funeral, we can all pay for it. We have systems like this to make it easier for Muslims from birth to death. So our goal is basically to be as inclusive as possible. However many people we can connect with this, no matter what country we're going to go into. So this idea was brought to me from these people, for Japan people. So I want to share with people in Japan, whoever wants to have this, they can join. For any other country, it will be for whatever's happening in those countries as well. So whatever services are available, whatever Muslims need, we put it all together in one place. And actually, you mentioned the madhabs and the understanding of halal. So in the Middle East, the way they approach halal historically is in the Quran it says it's lawful to eat from the meat from the people of the book, meaning the Christians and Jews.
Correct,
And
correct.
around the Arab countries are the countries of Christians and Jews.
Yeah.
So they never have to check the meat.
Hmm.
But for Southeast Asia, the countries in this region were polytheist countries historically, like Hinduism or Buddhism or of this nature. So we're not sure if the meat they're using is being sacrificed for one god or not. So certification, checks, precaution have to come into place. This is the history of the mindset of the people. So when we think of travelers, I know people who come from Middle East here and they say, as long as it's not pork, it's fine. Because they were raised like this in this way. So depends where you come from. And education is the most important. And you can actually filter the restaurants in the app based on your madhab. So if you're following a specific madhab and you follow a specific belief,
Correct.
you filter out this in the app.
Mazhab.
To make it easier, whatever you're comfortable. We want to make sure everyone is included. Because in Japan, you don't really have a choice. If there's only 5 halal restaurants and there's 4 madhabs and you have all different beliefs,
Yes.
you're going to be hungry. You're going to be vegan.
Yes.
So it's like you have to be more collective and use that collectiveness as a way to bring yourself closer to the deen. Because in the UK, I'll tell you the example which went wrong in England. There's a one street in England, it has 10 mosques on the same road. And the reason why is because
Multiple Jumaat prayer.
and 2 people and they say, I don't like your idea, I'll make another mosque.
Yes, correct.
And there's someone else argue, I make another mosque. And there's 10 mosques on the road, and they all have different prayer times. Like it's because of this, because of freedom. Like the UK is very flexible. Where they say you want to build a mosque, you can go.
Okay, for Japan, Z, for Japan, who do you think should be the authority for these Islamic teachings and
For these Islamic teachings, I think it should be someone from each madhab together.
each mazhab together? Representative from each mazhab, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I think I know pretty much all of the Japanese sheikhs or scholars or imams in Japan that have studied. But trying to bring them together is another thing.
It doesn't matter
So
in English.
we do it the best with what we have, but we have to start bringing awareness
Okay.
of unity to each group.
Alright.
Let them know that each other exists. That's the first step. Creating events is really important.
Okay.
The more events people come to, the more awareness, going out there to the different mosques, approaching the community. It's important. We need people like volunteers and stuff to do that.
So in terms of Islamic authority in Japan, who do you think or which office office should control or maybe oversee these 4 mazhab? What do you think? Who? Which office
In Japan.
in Japan?
I think it has to come from within Japan. That makes sense. Because, for example, if you are
They do have religion.
and you receive the funding from zakat fund from somewhere else, another country, then you have more freedom. If you're receiving the funding from the religious institute funding, then you have to follow the madhab style because you receive
Follow the
funding
money
from
lah.
So it limits the people who come to your place, and it limits the information that can be accessible, and it naturally creates division, if that makes sense. Because
Nak tanya soalan?
people can go somewhere else.
Yeah, you can have to come up in front and ask the question.
Boleh tanya Nabil as project.
From within Japan upwards, that's the best solution because that's what happened in the UK. And I'll tell you the results. So when the foreign imam and foreign authority built the mosque in the UK, people start to leave Islam.
Okay, understood. Okay. So in terms of the platform, do you think that Japanese government should some kind of endorse or maybe certified certain platform as a one blanket certification for the Muslim traveller to come to Japan? Okay, you have to when you come to Japan, use this app. This is certified by us, by the government, something like that. Do you agree to that kind of direction?
I would agree to that if the person who is in charge of it has basically because the reality is a lot of people in Japan operate under halal businesses, others are Muslims. So the people who make the final decisions are people who have not submitted to halal. So they have no foundation in Islam. They understand Islam to some level, from a business perspective or a money perspective, but their values, their final decision point is not based on is this going to please Allah or not. And for me, that's very important. If you were to understand a Muslim's heart, regardless of your madhab or your belief, that has to be the foundation for.
Kita kena bawa JAKIM on board lah benda ni. You know, talk to the government, bring all this.
So if someone has alcohol in the restaurant, I will never give them halal certification. I'll give them Muslim friendly. You're able to cater for Muslims up to this level, but you're not halal. So Allah has specifically explained what halal is. We don't play with these words, right? So it's not for me to change. I just am the enforcer. I just
nak tanya soalan ke?
in the best way to my best knowledge. So
Tak apa, stand by sir.
I feel. So if the Japanese government has a department which they have Muslims working there, and the Muslims are working, and they are able to have free choice over their decision, then this is the best solution actually. But we have to, in order to get there, we have to first go back to the basic. What is Islam?
Okay. Okay, good sharing. See, we have some kind of sharing, and audience perhaps would like to ask question, maybe, or share their experience. Miss Mawada from Malaysia.
Assalamualaikum and hi. Can you see my face?
Depan lagi.
I'm so sorry.
No, have a seat.
So like yesterday,
Silent je kot daripada TV ni ke?
Tak, masa kita pakai mic boleh silent kejap. Bila Z bercakap kita boleh. Alright. Mute je. Okay.
I can. Alright, hi. My name is Nurmada. So currently, I just want to ask a question about if we are going to have like grocery on a day, so we tend to use app called
Halal Japan.
That app like we are using. Yeah, because like we scan the barcode and then if the barcode cannot be read, then we have to scan the ingredients. So until yesterday, we went to 7-Eleven and then we find one product that label halal, but when we scan the barcode, it pop out label
Doubtful.
No.
Doubtful.
Level of
Doubtful.
The second one,
Be careful.
So
Okay.
the current my
Itu yang saya cakap,
what's my
disparity
thought?
information.
Yeah. On this application, we might knowing that Zahid, atas sikit. So my question is, this type of application might be relevant, but the product itself might be changing from time to time. I mean the halal certification, the halal one product might be halal on this time. On the second process might be there is some things
Doubtful.
So just now you say about mazhab. I mean there is thought in Arabic like called ad-darar la yuzalu bi-darar. So we can take something if we can take something that if we trust, and then we have to we can take this one and then we read the ingredients. And then if we
Orang
this
Jakim
one
selalu
fine,
datang
and then
sini
we can
tu.
take it. So my concern
Banyak
is
cerita lain tapi ni
Ini tak apa later.
The application.
Sebab
And then the application say, but the ingredient is safe.
tak apa.
What do you think? Do we have to follow the apps, the halal, or your apps, maybe halal thoughts?
Tapi macam saya cakap tu betul. Dia kena orang dalam Jepun juga buat benda ni.
Do you understand my question? I'm sorry. I'm babbling and go around.
Tanya apa?
Non-Muslim ada tak concern? Non-Muslim. The people who created the Halal Japan app, they offer it at very reasonable price. The database which they are using, it takes a lot of people to track this information actually. And I don't know about their organization, like how many people they have dedicated to gathering this information regularly. Like for example, if I have a company that was running the app, how I would do this is I would assign one person. So I would say, okay, Brother Raul, you were going to be in charge of 7-Eleven. Every time 7-Eleven updates their product, because they do it online, right? Every time they add a new product, check it. And that's your role. You will be in charge of Meiji products, like Meiji make chocolate and cereals and baby foods and things like this.
Local
So you are in
information.
charge of it. So I would designate people to companies or businesses rather than individual products. So every time the company releases a new product, they can check. Or if the company makes adjustments to the product, they can check. Because that's their role. That's all they have to do. If we have the resources for that. So I'm not sure about their level of resources. Because some of the products, you can see the dates. The last year was checked was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Right? The factories change. But also to be able to do this, you would have to have knowledge of Japanese. I call places up, like I ring them and ask them, are in your factory, is your factory line producing anything which uses pork extract or alcohol? Like how do you sanitize to this level? For the Muslim average user, so before I got into this work, I was just an average Muslim consumer. If I see halal mark, I trust it, I buy it, and I eat it. When I came to Japan and I started to work in this field, I started to notice a few things, as you mentioned. The ingredients say something and the app say something else. So then I had to be conscious about it. And when I studied more about the fiqh, the effects of what happens if you were to consume something that is not halal. Even if you did by mistake, this is fine, right? Because you didn't know. But if you were to continuously consume something which is not halal, the effect it has on your spiritual level is it takes you further away from Allah, and you don't have so much khushu in your salah. If you consume from haram, you lose your barakah and your rizq. You look at the option. do I use the ChatGPT and check the translation, or do I want to lose my connection? So when you weigh this up, that extra 2 minutes or 3 minutes that you take is very valuable. And if you, as a user, logs this information can benefit someone else, then you're going to get sadaqah jariyah as well. But this is too much on user-generated content, right? Because we can't trust every user has the same level of language ability and knowledge of Islam. But we have to create something official where people are assigned to these specific roles. The Halal Japan is brilliant. It's helped a lot of people actually. But I think with the speed that products are coming out,
Oh no, lagging. You're lagging. Alah.
catch up. They need support. They need volunteers.
It's a bit lagging.
Well, winters. I have to do it because I have kids.
Yeah, can you go back to the the Halal Japan apps that you said just now? It's brilliant, but what's the gap?
Back to the the Halal Japan apps that you said.
But they don't have the manpower to keep up with the rate of how quick new products are being released. It's the product, right? Like let's say 7-Eleven egg sandwich. There's like 10 versions of it, depending on which prefecture, where they make it, what the factory is. So you have to be very, very. If you want to be very careful about your diet and your food, you need people dedicated to check that information for you. Those are jobs. Those are job roles, right? Those are things that you can do to create work in Japan. If that was the business that you would like to get into, that for JDC, I know you guys have you have people who come here on a yearly basis, right, to study and learn Japanese and the culture. This is the type of work you can get into. Like even MPJA, Brother Akmal from Tokyo, they have the certification board. You could also train and learn about how to audit halal food from him directly. I think they teach it in the Malay language as well. So there's a lot of opportunities for students who come here to not only study Japanese, but do something beneficial for the Muslims here as well. If you don't have the resources, right? Because Japan, again, we're very limited on our resources. We have to work more and more together. I think this is a huge point that because you're going to find someone who's able to do it.
Okay, Z, I'm going to stop you right there.
Sorry, I couldn't hear. You're on mute. Sorry.
Okay, Z, I'm going to stop you right there. We have here Dr. Rizam. That I believe itching to share something in terms of the technology.
Dr. Rizam from industry, perhaps
Inshallah.
you can introduce yourself, Dr. Rizam.
Yeah, introduce yourself.
Here, Dr. Rizam. Oh, my.
Hello, Z. Can you hear me?
Saya ada jumpa dalam waktu tu, so kita ada pendapat share yang kata dia nak share jumpa.
Okay, my name is Rizam.
Kalau kita
Yeah, I have a PhD in IT, industrial computing, but this is application is not really my area of expertise. But since I moved to Japan, so I work in Accenture Japan Limited, one of the IT company as a consultant. So here, as you know, that Japan is very advanced. So we are currently in AI technology era. So what I'm thinking, right? This is just maybe it's just idea, or maybe someone else also think about this idea. You have created a very good application. I can see from your presentation just now. But I believe that there are also many other developers who are currently creating the similar apps, right? So I think this is a time that we should connect each other and incorporate the application into one single ecosystem, right? So instead of we updating the halal information into the application, right? So why don't we think about creating a specific AI agent that can understand what is the ingredient inside the halal, inside the product itself, and we can also get the information from other application. Like for example, I am currently using Halal Japan app. So like the audience mentioned just now that the application say this is halal, but I mean different application say something else, right?
Yeah.
So what we can do is just to think about creating the new agent that is specific to learn or to do a research about halal ingredient. This is, I mean, just my thought. So I think I know that this is very difficult job, but yeah, as you know, this is AI era, so we have to think about to take over the job role that you just mentioned just now, right? So instead of we are doing the update into the application, we can use AI technology to I mean, to create it for us.
You guys have hundreds, right? Kat sini kan 95 kan kat sini.
Okay, wait.
Yes, saya. Oh, sorry.
Kenapa?
Okay, alright.
And the reason for this is because the current AIs out there, like GPT or Claude or any of these other companies, they are taught, they have protocols.
Criticals.
All of their protocols, by the way, like park.
Dia punya kan? I think.
Give them to Hadith or completely falsified and one which is actually, you need to have AI, which is basically.
Terkejut. Terkejut. Sorry.
Could you please wait for a while? There's been a problem with the TV. Laptop. Okay. All right, you can now speak.
So yes, when it comes to building the AI, team of Mauritius are already building their own AI with their engineers from scratch. So they called it Habibi, it's a Muslim AI, and it's going to be taught basically through all faith. The only things it will learn is through Islam. So it doesn't have access to knowledge outside of the realms of Islam. Basically meaning that when you let AI go through certain algorithms, it will try to pull what's useful, what's fastest information. This is how a computer works. Sometimes the fast answer is not always the correct answer. We have a collective responsibility to make sure that we're providing the right information for the people. Right? So when it comes to building the AI, yes, it's going to save manpower. But also we want to make sure that the people get the best benefit from it. So I totally agree with your idea with AI. A lot of job roles can be saved through this. But the eventual end of the day, a Muslim has to look over and check, is this correct? Is this verified? Are we able to go through? And because we live in a generation where everything's very fast, some of the things get skipped. And it can cause huge issues. Very recently, there's a lot of meat which comes into Japan that has halal stamped on the package, and it's not halal. And this is a huge issue because many restaurants use this meat. Many people go out and purchase this and feed it to their family, right? So, but no one has verified, is this actually halal or not? This is where human intervention is always going to be stronger than machine.
Yes.
So we used AI to our benefit for certain things like databases or tracking information. But when it comes to human intervention, Allah gave us these amazing brains to use for specific things. Everyone has a different talent. We pick the people who are good at this and this and this, and we help them to get it through. And like you said, it's about bringing everyone together. So the guys who created this Halali app, they actually create portals in the app. So if you already have an app, you can put the portal in there and it becomes one app. Anyway, so the purpose of this is to bring everyone together,
Yes.
no matter where you are across the globe, to make information accessible, to make study and education accessible, to make reverts life easy. Because some revert, they have a question about Islam, they don't know who to ask. Maybe they're going to get a harsh answer. So they have a revert mode actually. So it speaks to them in nice words. We're even going to be tackling mental health issue in Islam, which is not spoken in many countries. How to deal with the people who have mental health issues in Islam, how we can support them. How to make games interesting for kids so they spend less time on YouTube and more time learning about the Quran. So there's a lot of psychology that the shaitan used to bring us away from Islam. We have access to the same technology. So let's figure out how we can use it for the benefit of the people. And there's so much we can do, right? The same guys who make this app, the engineer, he showed me another app he's working on. It's called Nafsi, which is basically an app for tazkiyah that you use on a daily basis. So you check, was I kind to my neighbor today? It's like a game, like Pokemon. You actually build the character. Your nafs becomes more beautiful as like Pokemon character. They evolve. The design is amazing. But if kids were to learn this from a young age, because they teach this in Japanese school actually, morality classes. If they were to have this in a game with the concept of Islam on it, how many less arguments would there be? How much less knife crime? London has a huge knife crime problem because young kids don't know how to communicate with each other. So there's a lot of things we're trying to tackle. Islam has a solution for everything. Allah says this book is healing for many meanings. We have access to the greatest we come from a Lord of peace, from a prophet of peace, and from a religion of peace. We have to show this peace through whatever we do with our technology as well. And we just do dua to Allah, put us in the right place with the right people, with the right resources, the right niyyah, and it will happen. Everyone has their own skill set. When Khalid ibn Walid, when he took his shahada, he come to the Prophet ﷺ, he returned the sword to him. He said, you want to use this sword anyway. And the Prophet ﷺ gave the sword back to him. He said, you are great with this sword. Now use this for Allah. So everyone has their own natural talent, actually. Someone may be good at singing, someone may be good at painting, someone may be good at something. Find this, because that's your door back to Allah. And that's how you build a community. And when you come to Japan, this is just my advice from what I have seen, that failed in the UK. When the Prophet ﷺ came from Mecca to Medina, he took the Sahaba and he paired them with the Ansar, with the people who have similar personality. Like you guys both like chicken, then you together. And you learn from each other. And this is wonderful because it creates friendship and they learn from each other and grow. And in the UK, when the Muslims come, they separate. Non-Muslim, I'm Muslim, I don't want to be with them. But you may find a really good friend through this, right? So friendships and connecting with the similar skill set it elevates you faster. It's like this is what marriage is. We complete half your deen because you already you got halfway there, and the rest of it is just the time that you spend to deal with your own issues or faults and things like this. So as a place that does, I know JTC does like internships, bringing people from Malaysia here. Find a matching Japanese person. You guys work together, you become friends. You learn from each other, and they're Japanese, so they have access to resources that we wouldn't even have access to. But now Allah has opened the door for us through them. That's how it spreads faster and faster and faster. And the more humans, this is my personal opinion, we are in AI era, it's great. But the more human involved is better than computers. Because if the switch turn off, how can we check, right? I always think if suddenly we can't use the internet, how will people know when Ramadan starts? You have to go out there and check the moon. So, we have to think any possibility to survive in any situation. And this is a very dark story, but we believe in the Dajjal, right? So we know this may come in our lifetime at some point. How are we prepared for it? So yes.
We have here non-Muslim participants. Mr. Alan, if you would like to share your experience, your pain points coming to Japan, we would like to hear from you as well.
Hi, my name is Alan. Okay, so I'm studying in Kyoto University. Okay, so actually, I think for my opinion, it's just my opinions. If we want to make something for the app successfully, I think we should involve for the local Japanese also, because okay, just an example, if a Muslim they visit to Japan, right? So actually the food we want to try is the local Japanese food, and not the others made by the Muslim foods or the Indian foods or Thai food. Maybe we want for the Japanese food. So I think the support from the Japanese and also the funding for the organizations, and also they have to understand what halal is. Yeah, I think this is very important.
Okay. Anything else? What happened?
Okay, can you try talking?
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly fine.
Okay.
When it comes to the halal food information, I currently do seminars in different cities to introduce to the local governments how easy it is to actually make your food halal. Because a lot of people have, again, we have to start backwards. We're starting, when it comes to teaching Islam, we're not on zero going up, we're on minus 50. We've got to go through 9/11, all of these things, and then we've got to come here, right? Then we can start. So when it comes to teaching halal, a lot of them have had previous experiences that halal is hard. Halal is too difficult. There's too much problems with creating halal. The operation isn't easy in the restaurant. So I go in the restaurant and I cook with them. I tell them, look, if you're in a restaurant and someone has a peanuts allergy, are you going to use the same knife to serve them? And they say, oh, of course not. They could die. Say exactly. You understand. You have omoyari in you. So when it comes to Muslim, for halal is this. When it comes to vegan, is this. You pick the goodness and you expand on what they do, which is already good. So they're already doing things which are good. They just don't know how to connect to Islam because it's so foreign for them. And why I understand this is when I was an English teacher, I came to England to teach in Japan. In my first class, I told them I'm from England. They say, you don't have blue eyes. They go to England and find me someone with the blue eyes now. this generation, I'll pay because it's so multicultural, right? Their image is like England is this type of people. So, but you can't blame them because they don't. It's an island. You have to understand this is an island country. Historically, they kept people out. Gaijin, the word gaijin is outside person. You're not inside. So the whole concept of this place is weak here. Japan has if you understand Japanese culture very deeply, they have a concept of uchi-yanso, in and out. Anyone foreign is out. Anyone Japanese is in. But if you even between Japanese, one person can be in and one person can be out. So to understand all of this, we have to explain to them from the beginning how easy it is and break their understanding of what they thought was difficult. So when I, for example, in Nagoya, I do a seminar and I teach them, this is all of Nagoya meshi, like local Nagoya food. Because there's so many cheap Nagoya restaurants, right? This is how you can make it halal. You change A, B, and C, that's it. Now you can start having Muslim customers. And they make the change and they start getting the customers. It's not difficult. And then it's just implementing that change and telling them that we trust them. So when I issue the halal certification to the restaurants, I actually go there 4 times a year to support them. To check, are they doing, I build a manual for them. So even if I die, they can still serve Muslim. So that's the goal, to help them stand on their feet and bring them closer to Islam in some way. To make life easy for them, right? The Prophet ﷺ is sent as mercy to mankind. We're supposed to make it easy for them, not hard. They believe halal is hard. So we have to try and change the image of that by just talking to them. The biggest issue in Japan is education, in Japanese. In English,
Okay, Z, just gonna pause you for a little bit. So we would like to ask for the Mr. Allen, from your experience, you have Muslim friends surrounding you from Indonesia or Malaysia perhaps. What is your opinion in terms of you see them difficult to find halal, you know, food and everything? What would be their concerns?
Okay. So usually in the laboratory or in the university, actually, mostly we will have a party with the locals, right? So normally party in Japanese we will involve alcohol.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah. So I think that's for a Muslim because sometimes it's difficult to separate from a halal from halal to not halal in a meal. Yes. Yeah. I think that's also one issue. But I think the most important is the education to Japanese people, the local Japanese, that halal is not so difficult to achieve as in Malaysia also. Okay, and as an entrepreneur views, if Japanese people as a restaurant they want to change from like a non-halal to halal, they also my concern about the business. Yeah, so I think, and also the procedure to get the halal certificates. So I think this is all we have to educate, and also if the apps sometimes, because the app is mainly for the Muslim peoples, so maybe we can involve the non-Muslim peoples or the local Japanese people. We can share some things, or like just now we have mentioned also there's a points that they can get to support the local business, so they can get involvement of the Japanese people in the applications, and also they can support. Yeah.
So we should have Japanese vendor on board.
Yeah. Industry.
Completely agree. I think the local Japanese support helps so much, and it builds connections, the thing that you wanted to have. And those connections carry on for years later as well, and just build that foundation and infrastructure that I feel is very important for being successful, even from a business mind as well. For example, I've been pushing this business idea to every Japanese person I know who owns a factory. So start serving, and I know this is a political issue in Japan now, but the school food meals. If you were to serve school food meals, you have a customer for 16 years.
Yes.
The time the kids are in school. When I went to school in England, because I've seen the other side, right? When I went to school in England, I go to my school cafeteria. There's halal sausage, there's vegan sausage, and there's pork. You just pick the one which is relevant for you, because we have so many kids from all around the world. That's how it was like in the 1990s. So it's like if you've been to IKEA, like the IKEA like shop, the cafeteria, it's exactly like this. It's possible. They just need people to educate them why. I know places in Nagoya where it's already happening, it's just not public. There's schools and universities and even kindergartens that serve halal food in it. The best way to serve halal food in the UK, like the best example of the most successful restaurant, they never even advertised as halal at the beginning. It's a chicken restaurant called Nando's. They just serve like grilled chicken and chips. And you guys know what Nando's. So they're from Portugal, right? So they just said like, we use chicken, why not make it halal? It's just one thing. They just changed the chicken to halal and they became the most popular restaurant in the UK without ever advertising as halal, because they serve everyone. And I always tell Japanese people or people who run halal restaurants in Japan, you don't have to be like, I'm halal. Keep your 98% Japanese customers. Just change the ingredients. And if the food tastes good, they'll come anyway. You just gain the extra of the Muslims, right? And the barakah. Of course, I'm not going to talk the religious stuff later because we're talking business. But from business side, you're going to keep your customers, you're going to gain more customers. It just makes sense, like logically, right? If you want to get more people to eat at your restaurant and you only change few ingredients for them to come, and it doesn't affect your restaurant's flavor or your history, it's the wise choice to make, especially in this era of Japan, where the population of Japanese is decreasing, and you're going to get more foreigners anyway. Start moving now towards it, because they're going to be your future customers down the line as well.
Okay. Alright.
What is your background, brother, by the way? Ellen?
Yeah.
Background, your background.
From engineering.
What's your
Engineering.
Engineering.
I'm sorry, I mean your ethnic background?
And I'm Chinese. Malaysian Chinese.
Malaysian Chinese? Okay. I love China, by the way.
Oh, Chinese.
I love watching movies and you speak Mandarin?
Yeah, I can speak. Yeah, I can speak.
Yeah, you know Li Lianjie?
Why do you Chinese?
I visit China many times.
Okay. Alright.
Can you hear me, Z?
Sorry?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. If it's too much to ask right now, I listened to your sharing just now. You mentioned that the app that you were developing with the Halali. The next move forward is for you to find an investor, right?
For that.
We're looking for investors. We're also looking for just people to get involved. people to share, to spread the word, get more people using it. Because the approach that they have done is they go into a new country, connect with the halal certification board there for verified restaurants, and the certification board spreads the information from there. Right?
Okay.
But they want more people in the mosques to use it as well.
Okay, in terms of that, how do you think that we can get most of the people on board here, including JDC? What do you think? What do you think of the idea?
How to get more people on board?
Yeah. JDC.
So, initially, they were wanting to use like maybe social media influencers to just get the word out, get more people actively using it. Okay. But from a non-Muslim perspective, the app is like very heavily Muslim focused, right? It's everything that a Muslim needs. But from a non-Muslim perspective, they don't really see the benefit of it. As a Muslim, it sounds great. You get everything you need in one place. So how do we get non-Muslims onto the app as supporters as well? That's the next stage that we're thinking about. And that's some of the thanks to Brother Ellen here as well. This is some of the ideas that even I've come to my mind. It's like, how can we be more inclusive for everyone? Because even when we teach Islam, the last words of the Quran, the final word of the Quran is for all jinn and all mankind, not for all Bangladeshis, for everyone. So how we can include everyone.
What do you think of the idea of JDC connecting your team with the Japanese, with the Japanese counterpart in terms of probably we can do like a locality, one locality in Wakayama,
Concept, like it's like concept city, something like that.
Halal concept city or something like that, and to get the Japanese vendor, companies and everything on board with the help from the JDC. What do you think of that idea?
Sounds perfect.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay. So, in the future, if we have some kind of further discussion on this, we will get you on board, inshallah.
Sure.
Okay. Right. Wonderful. I think that's all. Closing. Thank you so much. I think we get everything that we needed. Alhamdulillah. For now, there will be more talks of in terms of this, inshallah. But we will get maybe Tuan Zulkarnain. We will arrange a meeting regarding this, and because he's not here today to join us. We will keep in touch with you.
All right, Z.
It's just unfortunately you're not here to have lunch with us for us to discuss further. Next time, inshallah. Okay, so if you have other commitment, you can always leave the meeting room. And thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for listening.
Okay.
This is a successful event for you all.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Make some good connections.
Okay.
Thank you very much to all participants.
We're gonna move for lunch.
Yeah. So now, after this we're gonna have private discussion.
Private discussion.
PNC discussion with all of you over the lunch lah. All right. Okay. So we're gonna have a lunch break. So mana lunch?
Kat sini.
Okay. Thank you. Bye Z. Gonna close the link now. Bye.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Okay, boleh. Kita sembang dengan Tuan Zul.
Okay.
Live dah tutup kan?
Alright, we're gonna have our lunch break now. Kita nak lunch break. Stick beli. So, nak lunch break dan ada further discussion dengan our respondent dia dekat Japan Network Center.
Private discussion. Orang kuat di sini, orang kuat di sana, orang kuat di situ.
Orang-orang kuat JDC We have Ellen here. Tak tahu, I tak tahu Dr. Archina live ke tak. I share in my office.
Dr. Archina Angel tu
Dr.
apa?
Archie is your student.
Supervisor.
Supervisor masa master.
Okay.
I think Azwan tadi macam ada nampak dia. Dia live. Tak tahu. Ada ke tak ada?
UM.
Azwan,
Dr. Rizam.
Daripada industri Accenture kan? Doktor?
Saya Accenture Japan Limited.
Accenture Japan Limited.
Accenture.
Consulting.
Consulting dah berapa lama dah dengan
2 tahun 3 bulan.
2 tahun 3 bulan.
Ada
Memang
business
doktor
Saya
duduk sini.
migrate.
2 tahun 3 bulan lah tu. Okey. Macam mana tiba-tiba?
tahu ada orang offer.
Accenture offer.